Hello folks, and welcome to another edition of Draken's Dungeon, featuring the Shifter Kart, one of the funnest and most dangerous vehicles in all of Gran Turismo. Although it is an absolute blast to drive, it is extremely difficult to master and can result in a great number of spins, visits to Barrier, and alien abductions. You'll see. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy. Our first victim is Libra17, who just spun and hit the wall. Frankly, I think he wanted to find out how much smoke he could get off those tiny little tires. You may have seen Tumbleweed in that last shot. I think he was trying to avoid Wily. He decided to do a little tumbling, like a tumbleweed does. Next we have JPS Racer with the clashiest of clashes. Michael Schumacher would be aghast at this if he were watching. His own racing suit in Max Verstappen's #1 racing kart. My God in heaven. Quiet Man was also apparently involved in the Clashing Styles competition, wearing Oscar Piastri's racing suit in Mario's kart. Here we have Toke, who plays a rather significant role later on in this video. He decided he didn't want to drive on the asphalt because he believed that the grass would be faster. He wanted to find out. Turns out, it's pretty quick. Here we have Demelobot, or Demilobot, or however it's pronounced. He also wanted to find out how well the grass worked. And so he did. Didn't have nearly as much luck, but a great deal more style. Nice spin. Another nice spin. And another. He is on an absolute roll, folks. Here we have me and Libra battling for P8 right at the end of the race. I don't know what was going on in his head. He honestly didn't seem to be able to decide which side to pass me on. And so he didn't. Here we have the beginning of the next race, and poor Marcus Zan on 32 had a bit of a slow start. Quiet Man knocks him. Cal Miles knocks him. And off he goes. Down to 12th. Genesis 212, having a fairly good start to the race, gets a little bit cozy with Tiger Boy 771 and manages to keep it together. For now. Tiger Boy has a little bit too much curve and a whole lot of out of control, says a quick hello to Barrier, does a ridiculously unsafe join lead across the track, burns out his little tiny tires, and off he goes. And here is Snuggles, with another of Max Verstappen's #1 Red Bull livery, and expects to be able to control it. Here we have Farmer Dave in Max's racing suit, showing exactly how it's supposed to be done. Power slide, lots of smoke, but keep it together. I warned you about Genesis 212. I think the smoke might have messed him up, and off onto the grass he goes, but he kept it together, so I guess he was paying attention to Max. Farmer Dave. Here's me battling Snuggles for P5, who decides to run us both off the track into a quick meeting with Barrier. And here's another view of it, for our perfectly paired pirouetting. Only Snuggles decides he wants to do an extra couple of spins. He is driving a Red Bull liveried car. I mean, what do you want me to say? Remember Marcus Zanon from the beginning of the race? Well, apparently he was here to drift. And drift he did. Look at the smoke coming off those tires. That's some impressive stuff. Even on the grass. Certainly getting his money's worth. And in terms of extraordinary style, we have I Am Vengeance in quite possibly the most wonderfully evil Canadian setup I've ever seen. The torn and shredded Canadian flag, and a skull on his head. Hell yes. It unfortunately did not bring him much luck, and, well, into the wall he goes. In terms of what happened to I Am Vengeance, he just missed the corner. Hit Barrier, did a lovely little spin, and then he was captured by space aliens. Never to be seen again. But there goes Marcus, drifting away. Here we have Snuggles again. I mean, he's driving a Red Bull liveried kart. What the hell did he expect? Spins out of control, backwards, does a lovely burnout into the pit lane for an extraordinarily unscheduled pit stop. Now, you gotta love that the tires are levitating and they're being held in place by the force. Hey guys, just wanted to come say hi. Peace out. Here we have Big Al trying to pass me, and I bumped him and caused him to spin a lot and hit the wall hard and then spin again and again. Sorry, Big Al. Here's GT Vader having his own little pirouette meeting with Barrier backwards. Another little spin. And the reason he spun is because he ran into the back of me. Around he goes, backwards into Barrier. Hi Barry, how you doing? Gets going, has another little funky spin, and then he gets captured by space aliens. They're busy today. Here we have King Donkey, who's been watching all of these spins and decided he wanted to try his own. Another little burnout, tiny little tires, another little half spin, and off he goes. Here we have A. Stanelli with Lewis Hamilton's racing suit and kart, but with Charles Leclerc's number on the back. Bad luck, dude. So let's have a look at that from his own perspective. He's doing fine, but Demelibot goes wide, and then comes back onto the track very badly, smacks him, he hits T-Bone, ricochets off, hits Demelibot, then the wall, and finally gets himself going. So let's have a look at that from Demelibot's perspective. Coming around the corner, he gets a little bit wide, comes back on and hits Stanelli and causes all kinds of mayhem and carnage, but then he ends up cutting this curb way too much, spins, loses control, burns his tires, hits the grass, makes a big old mess of things, goes from P4 to P5, make that 6. And yes, that was the very end of the race. Never piss off karma. Here we have our next alien abduction victim, Inox88. He gets bumped by Demelibot, go figure. Ends up on the grass and spins. And apparently that's when the aliens strike. And here we have the epic battle between myself and Toke, who I believe was using a rock band drum kit to control his kart. Or he was just crazy, because he couldn't keep his kart straight. Look at this, all over the place, swerving and like ducking and diving and doing all kinds of insane-o things. I was honestly not sure what the heck he was going to do. He kept blocking me, which was annoying, to say the least. I think he might have just been fairly new to karting, because they are a little bit tough to control. Fair enough. He's keeping it nice and even here, no problem getting around the corner, so he can. We've now established that. And I'm really hoping to get by him at some point, because I am faster. As you can see, with a little bit of slipstream, I'm gaining no problem. Into the hairpin. And get a good exit. Keeping my line nice and good, and it's straight. I almost cut that corner. It was pretty much as perfect as you can get without cutting that corner. So as we're coming through towards the last high-speed corner, he cuts across. I have to dodge, and then I had to lift just to make this corner, and unfortunately that let him get ahead by over a second, or almost a second, and I lost a slipstream. And that was that. I get P2, which is a respectable result. I have no problem with P2, but if you're swerving all over the road like that, you can expect to end up in Draken's dungeon. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to check out one of these 2 videos. I'm sure you'll find them to your liking. Good night, folks.